Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. And today it's your boy Mubs hosting once again. I'm gonna go with something a bit different. This isn't quite FPL related, but it's for sure Premier League related. Today I'm gonna do the top, not even the top, my bad, the Premier League predictions, the Premier League table predictions. So here I am. I'm gonna predict the 2020-2021 Premier League table. So let's begin. 20th, Fulham. I just believe Fulham just aren't it. They're not sustainable enough to survive a whole 38 game season in the Premier League at a top level with very, very good teams getting better and better in the league. And I believe they only have one goal scorer, one proven goal scorer, who's Mitrovic. And I feel like they're kind of coming back into the Premier League with the same squad they left the Premier League with. So they've got Mitrovic, a proven Premier League goal scorer, which is great. They've got a new manager in Scott Parker, who I still feel is a bit inexperienced, and his team just quiet. They just don't have. I don't think they have the balls to stay in the Premier League and go through the rough patches and hustle through and remain in the Premier League. 19th, I'm going for West Brom. Even though Slaven Bilic is a good manager, I feel like West Brom just don't have it. I don't feel like we know enough about their players. Like, they have a few stars out there who could potentially be stars. They were stars in the Championship last season. So they've got Diangana, they've got Mateus Pereira, and I think they also got Callum Robinson from Sheffield just recently. So it could work, but then I look at the rest of their team. They'll have Charlie Austin in 2020 and Hal Robson-Kanu. I don't think they're just Premier League made to help them stay in the Premier League for the coming up season. As we saw during Project Restart, literally without fans, this comes down to who's the better team and who can play better. And I feel like West Brom, even though Bilic is a good manager, they're going to get played off the park by most teams in the league. So 18th, who else I think is going to get relegated? This may come as a shock, but to me, I feel like they deserve it. West Ham. West Ham got to be relegated for me. Even though they showed signs and glimpses under Moyes during Project Restart because they were under immense pressure because they could have got relegated. I know the likes of Antonio, Bowen all showed up, and Souček, Declan Rice, etc. But on the whole, I feel like West Ham are just a really weak team for the majority of seasons. They always somehow come to bring it together to survive in the league. But this season, I don't think it is. This is it. Especially with the recent news, we saw how Mark Noble and Declan Rice were disappointed with the sale of Diangana to West Brom, a direct rival once again. I just feel such a backwards move. We've seen Haller hasn't taken off, which isn't a good sign. They still have the likes of Lanzini, who doesn't really impact the team. Fornals hasn't really made an impact in the team. Felipe Anderson's fallen off a cliff. He's just horrible right now. But they have a few good players in there. They've got Bowen, Antonio, and Declan Rice, and Souček. But in reality, I think this season might be the year they go down. And Moyes and West Ham, they aren't really doing anything. They haven't made any standout signings from what I know right now. And I just feel like they could be going for the drop, and it might be their time to go. So just above relegation places, 17th, I've got Brighton. Brighton, under Graham Potter, I believe they could play some interesting and some good football at times. But I just feel like Brighton never really gather form enough throughout the season. Like, they always, in the beginning of seasons, they always manage to get a little form, like maybe go on like a 2-game winning streak, and then get a couple of draws and then losses. And then they just go on the worst streaks ever, which keep them in the lower half of the table. So even though they've got Ben White, a really good centre-back coming in to their team, they've got Webster Dunk, which is pretty good. Ryan, I just don't feel is good enough. They've also got Lamptey, who could be a prospect. And then they've got Trossard and Maupay up top, which are decent players, in my opinion. I feel like they could string together some type of play, some type of good playing football together under Potter. But overall, I feel like it's just not enough to climb a little bit of the ranks in the league. So Brighton 17th for me. 16th, I've got Crystal Palace. Even though they've made some really good signings and reported today by Sky Sports, they're gonna sign Batshuayi on loan for the whole season, which is a really good move. This prediction could end up being wrong for Palace because now they've got Batshuayi, Eberici Eze, Zaha's potentially staying, even though he might force a move out, and it's a pretty decent team. But overall, they're still a weak team that doesn't play good enough football. They're gonna remain in the league, but 17th, 16th for me. 15th, I'm going for Aston Villa. I know I've seen a lot of people rank them higher in the prediction finishes. Rank them lower, my bad. I'm ranking them a bit higher. Personally, I believe if they can hold on to Grealish, and as of today, they've signed Ollie Watkins, and if this is a must, their front three to finish 15th or higher must be Trezeguet, Watkins, and Grealish. Those three could make something happen. 14th, Newcastle United. I know they've made a few exciting signings over the past couple of days with Jamal Lewis, Callum Wilson, Fraser, but let's be real, guys. Steve Bruce doesn't really play attacking football. He's there to sit deep and go for the header or go for the counter and get the goal. 13th, I'm going for Burnley. Sean Dyche, he just knows how to get on teams' nerves in this league. He's mastered it. He knows Burnley's Route 1 football. Let's be tight at the back, tight in the midfield, tight in the attack, and let's go for them corner goals. Them headers from Wood, Barnes, Tarkowski, and the crosses coming in from McNeil just works. So Burnley are steady 13th. I don't feel like they could offer any more. They just do their thing, strong defensively. They're going to remain. 12th, I'm going for New Boys Leeds. Leeds, I watched them a couple of times last season. They looked really impressive under Bielsa, especially in the FA Cup draw against Arsenal, where they bossed and dominated Arsenal the first half. I just think Leeds, they're going to be another championship team that we've seen, like Sheffield and Wolves, who stay in the league again and finish in a decent place. And I'm going for 12th. 11th, Leicester. No cap, Leicester. Leicester just post-restart. I know they had all the injuries, but they looked horrific. I cannot lie. They rely on Jamie Vardy too much, way too much. Barnes is a good player, but he doesn't really finish his chances when he needs to. Gray, he's just potential. Everyone goes on about his potential, and it's been a minute since he's really done anything. And they're missing Pereira. They've just sold Chilwell to Chelsea. It's not looking good. Evans is suspended for the first couple games, and I think Soyuncu's there, but Leicester just don't look like it's going to be it. I think Brendan Rodgers, he's going to face his real test this season. He's going to get beaten by teams he doesn't expect to get beaten by. And I feel like Vardy is not going to emulate last season where he got all them goals. And Iheanacho is nowhere near good enough to help that team finish in 5th place again like they did last season. Plus, they're going to be dealing with Europa League when they have nowhere near a good amount of squad depth. I just feel like Leicester are going to be poor this season, so it's an 11th for me. 10th, I'm going for Sheffield United. Chris Wilder, I like the way he plays football, tight at the back. Sheffield are definitely in for a 10th place finish, like comfortably. 9th, I'm going for New Boys, Everton. I'm only saying New Boys because of the whole new midfield that they've signed. Doucouré, Allen, Rodriguez. We all know, we were all crying out. I was crying out throughout last season. Everton looked so bland, playing that typical 4-4-2 that doesn't have no creativity and only relies on Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin up front. So now they've got a defensively solid midfield player in Allen. I feel like that could protect the back a bit more. They've got Doucouré, who's more of a box-to-box player, which could contribute. He's definitely going to contribute. Them three are definitely going to contribute. And Rodriguez, the only reason I've got Everton 9th is because I believe Rodriguez could have a somewhat similar season as Payet, like he did for West Ham. So if he manages to have that type of season, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin keep at what they're doing, I feel like Carlo Ancelotti could lead them to a ninth place finish. They could finish higher, but I'm going with ninth just because of Jordan Pickford. That guy is a ridiculously rubbish keeper. He's just not it. Carlo Ancelotti even wants to find a new keeper. Everyone knows Pickford isn't it. So Pickford's going to be Everton's downfall for me. So ninth, Everton. Eighth, I'm going for Southampton. I just feel like Hassan Huttl's football post restart was amazing. Even before restart, like after the 9-0 loss to Leicester, he just it's like he tweaked the team. He had them playing his free-flowing football and pressing. They constantly press. I think post restart, they would have finished in second or third place for points. They were just amazing. I feel like Hassan Huttle has so much to offer, especially with a nice, good bunch of players. I feel like Southampton are going back into their old days of where they scouted out good players who can come into the league and play good football. They've signed Salisu, a solid centre-back from Real Valladolid. He's meant to be. They've still got Bertrand. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters now. And they've got Gineppo coming back from injury. Hopefully, Che Adams can take off. And they've got the amazing Danny Ings, who I believe won't replicate what he done last season. But I do think he could get a nice 15 goals, which could contribute into Southampton finishing 8th, possibly even higher. But 7th, I've gone for Wolves. Wolves, under Nuno Espirito, I just feel like they're such a solid team. They've shown it to us throughout the last 2 seasons. Even though they've just recently lost Doherty to Tottenham, I feel like he's going to find someone to fill that position. May even play Adama Traore at right wing back, and it might work a treat. He might even be better than last season, imagine. But I feel like Wolves are set up they're so solid against most teams in the league, especially the top 6 teams. What my problem with Wolves is that they solely rely on Jimenez for the goals. And I feel like if they can spread out goals this season amongst Traore, Jota, Podence, and I think even their new record fee signing, Fabian Silva, I believe, if they could spread the goals out and them lot can contribute a bit more, Wolves could even finish in a higher position. But going off what I've seen, and I believe what you've seen as well from the last 2 seasons, I believe Wolves heavily rely on Raul Jimenez, and I think it might take a toll on them. Even though there's no European football this season, it could be a smoother sailing boat for them. But I'm just going to go with what I think, 7th, Wolves. 6th, I'm going with Tottenham. I know everyone's watched the Amazon documentary on Tottenham. It's only 9 hours of it, but we've seen it. Everyone's seen it. I just think Tottenham, they're good, but they're just not good enough. And Kane, even though he's a clinical goal scorer, I feel like he's slightly declining every season. And he keeps getting injured every year, which is taking a toll on his body. And then Spurs, they're forced to rely on Son, Ali for the goals. And then goals just don't come when they need it. But besides that, Tottenham have signed Doherty, which is a good sign of them going forward and wanting to attack more. Showing even though they had Aurier just posted at that right wing position, he couldn't really defend, which was the problem. Doherty can defend a bit, but he's not the most defensively solid fullback, I wouldn't say. And Mourinho, I just feel like he has outdated wash tactics. I feel like, yeah, he's going to beat the teams he needs to beat, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty games, he's going to lose points, and Tottenham will just finish 6th. And in 5th place for me, I've got Manchester United. Even though they looked phenomenal post restart, they have the players. They've got Pogba, Fernandes, Martial, Rashford, all coming into form. I just feel like Ollie's managerial presence is going to be shown in this new season. It's just going to show. Like, it's going to show who's the better manager this season. And my personal belief with Ole is that he's not a good manager. He just has amazing players on the field. And I believe Martial going to hit 20 goals. Rashford, somewhere between 13 goals. And just do something about that. And Bruno, probably going to have a good season as well. I'm not going to lie. And Pogba as well. However, what my problem is with United and what we saw post restart, even though they have one of the best defenses in the league, I feel like the defense is going to get tested. Lindelof and Maguire and Shaw, I don't think they're it. And Wan-Bissaka, he's all right, but he can be off the pace sometimes. And with Dean Henderson coming in goal, I don't know what they're gonna do. Dean Henderson or David De Gea, they've got two beautiful options, but personally, it should be Dean Henderson. And I don't know how he's gonna perform. I don't know if he's really gonna replicate what he did for Sheffield because he's not gonna face as much shots. But I just reckon down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not showing his managerial prowess throughout the season, I feel like United may just fall short of top four. So now, guys, to my top four. As you know, I'm an Arsenal fan. Fourth spot, I've got Arsenal. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but just hear me out. I believe Arteta has a plan and a project in place for Arsenal. Within 6 months of his job, I know he finished 8th. Don't get me wrong. I know he finished 8th, but a lot of that has come down to Unai Emery and Lundberg managing us for the first half of the season. But within his 6 months, he managed to beat the top four. He managed to secure the FA Cup, and he managed to beat Liverpool in the Community Shield with a second-rate Arsenal squad. I know it may all seem fluky to you guys, but I'm just informing you guys of the facts. It's just stat facts. And with the signing of Gabriel and Saliba gonna gel into the squad and Willian, I just think it offers us more depth. And I feel like Arteta is gonna take the Pep Guardiola approach this season, which is gonna benefit us a lot. And I feel like Arsenal have a really deep squad now with Saka, Nelson, Martinelli out injured, but Nketiah, we've got options pretty much all around the field, but we just got to improve that midfield. And if the signings of Partey or Aouar can come to fruition, I feel like we're in for a top four. We're gonna pen Aubameyang down to a new contract. I feel like Aubameyang could be top goal scorer, and he's gonna have goals contributing from Lacazette, Nketiah, Pepe, and Willian. And I just feel like Arsenal could just do it. I think Arteta, He's solidified the defense. He's got the defense more solid. He's just going to take it to the next level, and he's going to get Arsenal into 4th spot. 3rd spot, I've got Chelsea. Chelsea. Oh, my Lord. Money. That's all I have to say. Havertz, Werner, Thiago Silva, Ziyech, and probably a new keeper as well. Chelsea, they've just got to finish 3rd. It's not even a question. Can't lie to you guys. I personally think they have the 3rd best squad in the league. Lampard is a decent manager. He should be able to get 3rd out of this team, maybe even a higher finish. Chelsea should definitely finish 3rd. That's my reason, and I think that should be everyone else's reasoning. They should finish 3rd. If they don't, well, Lampard could get the sack. 2nd, I'm going with champions of last season, Liverpool. I personally just believe, even though Liverpool had the title wrapped up post-restart, I know they looked poor, the defense looked poor, the players didn't really look bothered because they knew they had already won the title. I just think Liverpool played with such high intensity because they had aims. They wanted to win the Champions League. They wanted to win the Premier League. And now that they've got both, I just feel like the same intensity isn't going to be replicated in this season. I just don't see it personally. Like, they're going to still be really good and have a close title race with the title winners. But I just feel like the same intensity isn't going to be there. I just don't see them running away with the title this season. Missing out on Timo Werner, it's going to punish them. First, I'm going for Manchester City. Pep Guardiola is going to be furious of the way he lost it last season by such a mile. He's going to come back. He showed it post-restart. Even though they lost a few games, he showed it post-restart. Manchester City are the strongest team in the league, especially goals-wise. Not defensively, but goals-wise. And I just see Man City scoring, thrashing teams. Man City, their fans don't even turn up to their games usually. So playing behind closed doors is like a training game for them. And they have a better team. I feel like they're just going to dominate. Like they rinsed Liverpool 4-0. I think they're due to whitewash a majority of the teams throughout the season. If they're able to sign Koulibaly, it's going to be a whole different ball game. City should win the league by at least, I'd say at least like 7 points, I believe. Koulibaly will tighten up the defense. And in case Laporte gets injured, they already signed Aki. Ferran Torres, I don't know much about him. He could contribute, could make the team better. I'm not sure. But personally, I just think Man City have the strongest team. And guys, here we go. That's my prediction. Let me know in the comments what you think. Tell me your Premier League predictions. Let me know. And tell me what you think about mine. Like, comment, subscribe. And thank you, guys.